Hey gang, Ronan here. As you can see in this game, we've got Chuck, Segeby, Average Joe, and Alf Radagast in an operation. Let me go in here real quick and address the UI bug that was introduced with update 10.5. And these will stay set for replays only in the game. And I want you to be able to get this information. Okay, so a little information. If you're not familiar with ops, they can be very fun, and they are a great, in my opinion at least, a great team building exercise. And it's a good way for ICOPs to get together and have a few laughs and blap some red chips. These are scripted encounters with scripted hard goals that you have to accomplish. And if you manage to accomplish those goals, you can see those primary task in the upper left-hand corner and secondary task just below that. If you accomplish all the tasks, and you've never done this before, you can get some really nice rewards. But even if you've done it before and the rewards are no longer on the table, you can get some pretty decent credits and XP in addition to having a good time with some teammates. I think that's it for the UI.
We've destroyed an enemy cruiser.
So these ships are going to come from that side. They're basically just going to run in a straight line that they're in right now. And you can see Alpha sticking with the AP. Okay, a little bit of information about the Weimar. They'll dispatch these guys pretty quickly. Yeah, they're gone. So now there will be a couple more ships. You see the Iron Duke there, and then there'll be some cruisers and another destroyer. And well, you'll see very shortly. And somebody's going to need to run out the direction that Alf has his ship kind of pointed right now, and deal with a bunch of transport ships in addition to a Nicholas. Anyway, the Weimar. Well, what is there to tell you about it? It's got 12 guns. It's got 4 turrets with 3 barrels each. 8-second reload, so it can put out a lot of shells. These are 150s. The maximum HE damage is 1700 per shell. The maximum AP damage is 3900 per shell. Now, being 150s, the penetration's not astronomical, but you know the Germans do have better AP penetration than really pretty much anything, so they can be pretty effective. There are secondaries on the ship, but they are, well, like any light cruiser, they are of limited effectiveness. And usually if you get close enough for your secondaries to be doing anything, you're in really big trouble. There are torpedoes on the Weimar. There are 4 racks with 3 torpedoes each, so you get a total of 12 torpedoes. You can see them there kind of amidships, so you've got 6 per side. They have a reload time of 68 seconds, so if you do get in close, they should be ready pretty much regardless of the circumstances. So they move at 64 knots, and they have, as you might expect with German cruiser torpedoes, a 6-kilometer range. They can do a maximum damage of 13,700 apiece, which of course is significant, especially if you get close and you land a whole bunch of them. And you can see the emerald popped up there. I might switch to that target because that is a Citadel magnet, but he hasn't come quite around the island yet. Now you'll see what I'm talking about. You've got this one base here, but you'll have a destroyer that's a Nicholas that'll come out between those islands there. Nice shot. There's the Nicholas, and then there will be half dozen or so transports right behind that. Meanwhile, the rest of the group are pushing in to contend with this Missouri. And you can see there are a few dead ships over there. I know that there's usually a Dallas, I think, that'll come out. And there are some things that are threatening the convoy. Now the goal, you can see on the minimap there, between G and H, 7 and 8, you can see a little diamond-shaped icon with an anchor in it. That's where they have to get the convoy. The convoy is going to be offloading troops, and they have to protect the convoy. And then down from the I and J line, there will be a lot of bad guys. And the good guys have to set up to be able to create some crossfires and deal with that long enough for the transports to be able to get all those troops offloaded. So there goes the Nicholas, and here come the transport ships. Now the St. Clair and the rest of these transport ships, they don't really have any weaponry to speak of, so there's really no threat whatsoever. So this is just some basically just free blappage. That ship's running like crazy, but there's just no way it's going to make it. You can see the rear turrets are turning, so we're basically only using half of the guns right now. When the rest of the guns come around, the rest of these transport ships, they really just don't have a chance.
Engine boost deactivated.
And you can see that the rest of the team is continuing to push center. They're staying with their own transports. Hydro's up. That's keeping the Canterbury on the other side lit. 2 torpedo strikes take out 2 of the Cimarron Sybil. Friendly Boise takes out a Canterbury. And once this ship is gone, Alf will be making a run for, well, down there where you can see on the minimap the Campbellton and Dallas are at. Now, I often like to, with the light cruiser in particular, run down to around I-6 and kind of sit at that little promontory there and fire across toward H9. You get a lot of red ships that'll come pouring out of there, and you can get some nice broadside shots and use the island to cover yourself from heavy fire that can come your way. Usually, the guys that have pushed center, where you can see the friendly Nagato and you can see Chuck there, usually those guys are going to be taking the majority of the fire. Now, why is Average Joe where he's at? Because there's going to be a Nicholas, which he's already taken care of, and a Phoenix, and an aircraft carrier. And generally speaking, someone on the team will have the task of dealing with the Nicholas, the Phoenix, and the aircraft carrier. That sometimes is not an easy job. And it looks like Alf may be making for exactly the position that I was talking about. I will often go kind of run to starboard and then come around so that my nose is pointing north. We'll see how Alf handles this. Still got the AP shells working. You can see the Omaha and the Britann, and they are really just the beginning. Looks like Alf's going to go ahead and push on into this center area. Maybe he'll get close enough to use the torpedoes. Probably a lot more fun for us to watch than what I would do. Okay, so now we can see the Britann, the New York, the Farragut, and the Omaha. The team's still working on finishing off this base. At this point, our hero has switched to HE, which will be devastatingly effective against the Farragut. Pretty withering fire from the good guys here. 10 is just straight up burning down. Friendly Nagato's pushed in pretty close. Running broadside to a battleship, that's risky. But more than likely, the Scharnhorst truck there will probably be taking most of the fire. Now, what is this light blue circle, you may be asking? Well, as you can see, just under the aiming reticule now is the word repair, so that you can pick some HP back up. So now you might be wondering, hey, what happened to Joe? Well, Joe got beat up. Nice shot.
Torpedoes, astern.
Combination of the whatever damage that the destroyer did and the Phoenix and the Lexi was a little too much for Joe. And having run these myself, I know that can happen. It's happened to me. So Alf has decided that he's going to go over here and try and finish off the CV. Because that is one of the secondary tasks that you can see up there on the left. Secondary task: defend lead transport ship, destroy aircraft carrier King, secure the safe landing of 1,100 assault troops. And the primary task: destroy all enemy ships within the water zone of the base, or secure the safe landing of 2,000 assault troopers. Now, really, it's just going to be a race to see whether or not Alf can get over here and take care of this CV before his teammates finish off the rest of these red ships. Now, there are quite a few, and you can see them coming on the minimap there. And at this point, the CV is probably, if he's not at A10, he's at B10, headed toward A10. And now it's just going to be a full speed rush to see if you can catch the CV to complete all the secondary tasks. Speed boost is engaged. So, a little bit more information about the Weimar. Maximum speed, 31 knots. But it does have the engine boost, so you're going to see the speed climb higher than that. You can see that there. 35.4 knots. Friendly Boise goes down to enemy Colorado. So we've got a pretty high speed light cruiser here, 35.6 knots now. Turning circle radius, 650 meters. It's not going to matter a whole lot here. This is just going to be a run for the corner. Surface detectability of the ship, unmodified by commander skills and such, 13.16 kilometers. Air detectability of 5.64. You can see the Lexi's got an aircraft in the air, and now, well, now Alf is the only thing left. Six kills, 140,000 damage, 6 citadels, 6 fires. And the bad guys are just pushing right into the friendly transport ships now. Now their mission was accomplished. I mean, they were able to get all the troops offloaded, I think. So if Alf can finish off this CV, it might be enough. Now, it rarely goes this way. Most of the time, whoever is sent over this direction will take care of the Lexington down where you can see the last known position marker is at Delta 10. And this is going to finish the Lexington. It's going to be over. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this as much as me. There's not a whole lot left to do. This gives you some idea of what the Weimar can do and how these operations work. So I'm just going to let this wind down, and I will say, yeah, I can't. Well, we've got 5 minutes left. Can this be salvaged? Is there enough time? I don't know. I'll stick around here for just a minute. We'll just see. I was tempted to just consider this over, but if Alf can get back there and finish off the one remaining ship in the next 5 minutes and 6 seconds, this mission could still be accomplished. This is really unusual, I'll tell you, that, well, very often we'll have all 7 of the players in one of these operations as an ICOP, and everybody's pretty familiar with what needs to be done, and usually it kind of goes like clockwork. In this case, only 4 ICOPs, 3 players just from, a random assignment. But really, I have to say, it looks like those guys did a pretty good job. Nagato sank 6 ships, Boise 3, and Indracht 2. So we're down to 4 minutes and 20 seconds now. And Alf is just getting up to full speed. I don't know that there's going to be enough time, and that looks like a full health Colorado. I don't know if 4 minutes is going to be enough to get there. And really, although you can start putting some long-range shots out, again, that's a spotter plane. I think I'd pop the spotter plane as soon as I was within range to be able to use it, and try and get some fire started before you get around this corner. So 20% of 13.2 would be what, another 2.64. So at 15.8, yeah, pop that spotter plane. He's in range now. Well, it looks like Alf's going to hold that plane. Down to 3 minutes and 3 seconds. So a total of 7 kills, 6 citadels, 259 shells on target, 23 secondary hits, which is pretty remarkable in a light cruiser, but remember that was against those transport ships. Took out a couple of land bases, detected 7 ships, 4 incapacitations, half a dozen fires, a flood on 1 torpedo hit, and shot down 4 aircraft. 141,270 damage. 2 minutes, 27 seconds remain. I don't think there's any chance he's going to get close enough to use these torpedoes, but, I've been proven wrong before, and I'd love to be proven wrong here. So it's really going to be a question of whether or not he can burn the Colorado down. And I would be running as straight as possible directly at the Colorado. Got 2 minutes remaining. There's a fire. Instantly repaired. So this volley, probably no chance of a fire, but the next one might. Minute and 45 seconds. Don't think he's going to get in range to use the torpedoes, so it's really going to be a question of whether he can burn this ship down. I don't know that that's going to be possible in a minute and a half. 3,000 per volley, more or less. Swinging the rear guns around. Getting closer and closer and closer. Again, the range on these torpedoes is 6 kilometers, but they take a while to get there. Colorado is grounded on the island there and apparently unable to get off of the rocks. I think the torpedoes can get there in roughly a minute. Switches to AP, doing some big damage now with those AP shells. And now he's in torpedo range. He should drop those torpedoes as quickly as possible. Nope, he's going to stick with the AP. I think I'd drop the torpedoes and then get nose into this thing. 36 seconds remaining, and I think you got this, Alf. I'm glad I stuck around. Great job. I can only imagine the number of ways these guys you were teamed with were calling you a hero. Again, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.